Hello! Get ready, because today we are going to solve a super big mystery about something you've probably talked to before. But guess what? It's not a person. How cool is that? You ready?
You know when you're on a website and that little chat box pops up at the bottom and you type something and it types right back? It feels kind of like magic, doesn't it? But how does it do that? How in the world does a robot learn to have a conversation? Well, we are about to find out together.
Okay, so let's pretend. Imagine we have our very own brand new robot friend. It's like a little baby robot, and it's our job to teach it how to chat. It's kind of like teaching a puppy a new trick, right? But instead of teaching it to sit, we're going to teach it to have a whole conversation. Let's do this. All right, so first things first, our new robot can't talk at all, not one word. So what's the very first thing it needs to do? It needs to learn. But how does a robot learn? That's right. It needs to read. And I mean, it needs to read a lot. You know how you might read a book about space to learn about planets? Well, our robot needs to read basically the whole internet to learn how to talk. Whoa. So how can it possibly read that much that fast? Well, it has a secret tool, a robot spider. This isn't a spooky spider. It's a super fast helper. It zips onto a website, reads the first page, and then zap. It follows all the links to all the other pages, reading everything and remembering it all. It's like a speed reading superhero for the internet. Okay, so our little robot spider has read tons and tons of stuff. But what happens next? Imagine you took all your homework papers and just scrunched them into a ball and threw them in your backpack. It'd be a giant, messy pile, right? You wouldn't be able to find anything. Well, that's kind of what all the information the robot collected looks like at first. It's just a big jump. And this is where we have to help our robot friend out. Look at those messy questions on the left. Someone might type, "Where is my order?" or "Order status, please." That's kind of confusing, right? So we have to become data cleaners. It's our job to take those messy questions and tidy them up into a nice, clean question like this one on the right. What is my order status? Ah, much better. Now our robot can actually understand what the person is asking. Okay, awesome. Our robot has read tons of stuff, and we've helped it clean up all its notes. High five. But just reading words isn't quite enough, is it? Now for the really tricky part. Our robot has to learn what we really, really mean. This is a huge step. And this leads us to a big, important idea. It's called intent. That sounds like a fancy word, but all it means is figuring out what someone really wants to do. Okay, think about this. If you're at a restaurant and you say, "I'm so hungry," the waiter knows you probably want to order food, right? That's your intent. Or if you say, "Can we get the check?" they know your intent is to pay and leave. And this is exactly how our robot gets smart. Look at this. If you say, "I want pizza," the robot understands your intent is to place order. See that? Or if you say, "Where's my order?" it knows your intent is to track order. So it's not just looking at the words, it's figuring out the goal. It's learning what you actually want to do. So our robot knows what we want to do. That's step one. But what about all the important little details? For that, it has to become a super sleuth, like a detective. It needs to find the special clue words in a sentence. And these little clues have a special name. They're called entities. Okay, let's put on our detective hats with our robot. Look at this sentence. The robot looks for those clues, those entities. It sees large and thinks, "Aha, that's a size." Then it spots pepperoni and goes, "Ooh, that's a topping." It even finds the place, Banjarat Hills, and the time, 6 p.m. See, it's picking out all the important bits of information so it can get the job done right. Wow, okay, our robot is getting so smart. It can read, it can figure out our intent, and it can spot the important clues. But how does it get really, really good at this? How does it become an expert? What do you think? It's actually the same way you get good at, well, anything. It has to practice. Yeah, it's just like when you're trying to beat a level in a video game, right? You try it, you might mess up, and then you try again. It's the same for our robot. We give it tons and tons of examples to study. Then it tries to guess the right answers. If it gets one wrong, we help it fix the mistake. And then it does it again and again and again. And when I say it practices a lot, I mean a lot. It's not just 10 examples or 100 examples. Our robot practices with more than wait for it, 10,000 examples? Can you believe that? That is so much practice.
But you know what the absolute coolest part is? The learning never, ever stops. Just like you learn new things at school every day, our robot keeps learning from every single chat it has. If it gets an answer wrong, it learns from that mistake for next time. So with every conversation, our robot gets just a little bit smarter every single day. Whew, look at what we did. Our robot friend is so much smarter, and it's all thanks to us. We learned so much today. So let's do a super quick recap of the 3 most important, biggest ideas. You ready?
Okay, here are our 3 big takeaways. First, robots learn by reading a huge amount of information. Second, they have to figure out what we want. That's the intent. And find the important details. Those are the entities. And third, robots get smart by practicing over and over and over again, just like we do.
Okay, but before you go, I have one last super cool fun fact for you. Are you ready for this? Some of the smartest chatbots out there have practiced on so much text, it would be like reading every book ever written, more than 500 times. Isn't that mind-blowing? Whoa. Well, thank you so much for being an amazing robot teacher today. That was so much fun. Bye for now.